Welcome back. It was late last month that we reported on a joint U.S. and Iraqi military raid in western Iraq that targeted ISIS leaders and killed 15 ISIS militants. Well, we're now learning more about who exactly was killed. Four senior ISIS leaders were eliminated on August 29th, U.S. officials confirmed on Friday. This includes the ISIS top operations leader in Iraq and its chief bomb maker, for whom the United States had actually offered a $5 million reward for. Hal Kempfer, still standing by. Hal, how powerful is ISIS, and what does taking out four top guys in Iraq mean for their abilities in the region?
Austin, it's very disruptive. Obviously, it really hinders their ability to plan, continue operations that they were doing. It's tough to say exactly how powerful ISIS is. They're not certainly not what they were, say in 2015 when they controlled large chunks of western and northern Iraq. That was at the height of their caliphate, if you will, their ISIS nation state or pseudo nation state that they tried to set up. They've been pushed out. They don't actually control terrain, but they still are there. They are still recruiting and radicalizing Sunni Muslim Iraqis or Sunni faith. And I should probably differentiate the Iranian-backed militias that have been attacking the U.S. They are Shiite Muslims, and the ISIS are violent extremists who are Sunni Muslims. One of the four killed is actually from Tunisia, and all of them were major players. As you mentioned, the one that was one of the top ISIS leaders, if you will, in all of Iraq, on our wanted list of stuff. But the others were major planners, operations chief for Western or the Western Iraq, the Al Anbar province, inclusive in that. And by the way, in uniform, I was stationed in the Al Anbar province, so I'm very familiar with that area. And also others that were in charge of things like finance, logistics, other sorts of things. So this is a very disruptive attack. Killed about 14 total. These four leaders were certainly what they call high value targets in terms of being able to take them out. But this was an operation that had not been seen in years. This was a joint operation with U.S. Special Operations. Army Rangers were involved with this, working with our Iraqi counterparts, hitting multiple sites simultaneously or near simultaneously. Coordinated with airstrikes. They went in there based on some of the injuries that were reported. I think they may have been doing some fast roping out of helicopters into maybe some built up areas. That's what it kind of looks like was going on in certain locations. And they went in there and then did this very well planned, well executed series of raids at multiple locations in order to basically eliminate a huge amount of ISIS infrastructure across the board.
I was reading the U.S. has roughly 2,500 troops in Iraq right now, and the DoD says their mission is to advise, assist, and enable partner forces in the defeat of ISIS in designated areas of Iraq and Syria. Raids of this nature aren't exactly common, Hal. What more are our troops doing there on a more day-to-day level?
Day to day, a lot of air support type missions, a lot of training with the Iraqis, a lot of logistics things. Obviously, there's a huge part in terms of sharing information. We have a very large diplomatic presence and a massive compound in Baghdad itself. Up at Al Anbar Air Base, which, as you probably recall, has been hit multiple times by the Iranians. It's been hit multiple times by Shiite Iranian-backed militias, if you will. It's been hit by ISIS. It's a huge air base that's up there, and that's a place where we do a lot of operations out of in support of the Iraqi forces. We have not, and this was what was a little bit different, is when ISIS came in, rather than an extensive U.S. ground force presence fighting ISIS, we were actually supporting the Iraqis, pushing, for the most part, pushing ISIS out of, eliminating ISIS and pushing them out of Iraq. And that's been our our mission ever since has been to help the Iraqis maintain control of their own territory. So it hasn't been this direct action sort of stuff. But I would mention this is a special operation. And because of the unique nature of it, because the unique amalgamation of skills and capabilities, this was done with the Iraqis, and you actually saw U.S. boots on the ground uh, coming in and hitting these targets directly. When normally what we've been doing over there has been what we hear most about is airstrikes. You know, we'll occasionally do airstrikes on, for example, Iranian-backed militia positions that have been launching attacks on our own bases and personnel. So we haven't seen anything like this literally in years, but a very extensive operation. And I should mention the political side of this. You know, there's a lot of discussions with the Iraqi government about the 2,500 troops, about the U.S. presence in Iraq drawing down and eventually leaving. There's even discussion that next year may be the last year that we have U.S. troops actually stationed in Iraq. So this is a very sensitive time. Obviously, the Iranians have been putting a lot of pressure on the Iraqi government, as have these Iranian-backed militias, which have a political side in the country, which backs the current leadership of Iraq to get the U.S. out. But ISIS is the mortal enemy of the Shiites, who are the dominant faith group, if you will, within Iraq. And ISIS tried to go in there and literally by force overrun Iraq and to try and conduct, well, in some places they did actually conduct like small genocidal actions. So that's very much in the memory of all these Iranian-backed Shiite extremist groups. And there's a saying in the Middle East: "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." And what we're kind of reminding these Shiite militia groups that are backed by Iran is, okay, you're firing on us, but remember why we're here. We're here to deal with ISIS, and ISIS is our enemy. ISIS is your enemy. And I'm not going to go so far as to say we're trying to say we're friends with any of these Iranian-backed militia groups, but we are reminding them why the U.S. is there. And by the way, why the U.S. had to go back in there after we pulled most of our forces out was we went in there to help the Iraqis push out ISIS. And that was something that was, deliberately benefiting, if you will, these Shiite extremist militias backed by Iran. So it is there are multiple levels, if you will, at looking at this. A lot of different political factors in play in why something like this happens, along with of course, the direct benefit of taking out these ISIS leaders and disrupting their operations. There's a very big message that goes out across Iraq, which is this is what the U.S. is here for. This is what the U.S. is doing, and we're working with the Iraqi government in making this happen. And that's an important message, not just in Iraq, but it's an important message across the entire region to remind them as to what the U.S. can do and why it's there.
Big picture, how much of a threat does ISIS pose to the U.S.?
Well, it poses a terrorist threat constantly. And of course, as you know, recently a couple of ISIS threats have been intercepted with plots here in the U.S. One of them was intercepted coming in from Canada, a ISIS terrorist that was planning on hitting a bunch of targets in New York, to include Jewish facilities there. That's
On
a kind
October
of an
7th.
ongoing, huh?
Yeah, on October 7th.
On October, yes. And so it's an ongoing series of threats that we deal with. And of course, ISIS has also been doing attacks in Europe as well. There's currently U.S. bases in Germany are on lockdown or semi-lockdown because of the ISIS or Islamic militant threat, but it looks like as ISIS-inspired militant threat that's up there. They had a recent attack in Germany using knives and machetes, and individuals were caught, I should say, in Germany with knives and machetes. They're planning on attacking U.S. servicemen, or U.S. soldiers. So it is something we see in various parts around the world, to include threats here in the U.S. It is not going away. It's not what it was. It wasn't that large caliphate, if you will, the self-described caliphate, that thing that controlled a huge chunk of land in Syria and Iraq. That about 10 years ago, that that was as big as literally as Great Britain at one point, to give you an idea of the size of it. It's not that, but they are a resurgent, if you will, movement. They got pushed back, they got knocked down, and what we're seeing is other things take our attention into other different areas, and we're certainly got enough other things going on in the world with our Ukraine, the issues in Gaza and everything else, and all the stuff going on with the Houthis down in the vital waterways down there. That ISIS is using this as an opportunity to kind of build up and plan operations and try to put themselves back on the map. And of course, ISIS K did that. They did the big attack in Moscow and the big attack in Iran. So that look, they're active. They have not gone away.
Thanks, Al. Have a good weekend.
Okay, you too, Austin.
Let's take a break. Back in 2 minutes.